Alright, so it's finally time to do an update on SoFi, which is going to be going public through a SPAC merger. So being that this is a SPAC, the current ticker is IPOE. And since I've covered SoFi before, I won't go too in depth with them, but to keep things short, SoFi is in the financial technology or FinTech space. The company's main goal is to disrupt the traditional banking system by offering people an all-in-one online platform and app where they can open a savings and checking account with no fees, buy and sell stocks, and apply for loans for houses, businesses, and vehicles. There are definitely more things that SoFi does, but essentially that's what they do in a nutshell. The app acts as a central hub for all things financial. They've been described as the next Amazon or Tesla of the fintech world, although I do think it makes more sense to compare SoFi to Amazon, because Amazon is not only a jack of all trades, but also a master of them as well, and that's exactly what SoFi aims to be. Let's get into an update from SoFi. I'll share my thoughts on it, and at the end of the video, I'll let you know if I think the stock is a buy, hold, or sell. So I realize this announcement was back in March, but for those of you who don't know, SoFi bought out a bank. Specifically, they bought Golden Pacific Bank, a Sacramento-based bank with 3 branches, for $22.3 million in cash. Now, a lot of you might be saying, okay, big deal, a fintech company bought out a brick-and-mortar bank. Well, I think you should look at it like this. The bank itself is not what's important here. What it represents, though, is that SoFi will now have a physical banking infrastructure. You can kind of look at it as if Amazon bought out some random hardware store. It's not crucial to the company's results, but what it does do is give a physical presence, allowing them to carry out their day-to-day operations. So, SoFi wants to be a bank, and they want to be a huge one at that. They plan to disrupt the traditional banking industry. And to actually achieve this, despite what some may think, you do need some sort of banking infrastructure, which is why SoFi buying out this bank is so important. It symbolizes a change, albeit a small one, in the financial industry. SoFi's goal isn't to have a brick-and-mortar bank on every street corner though. If they did that, then what would be the point of calling themselves a fintech company? Now that SoFi has a building to work out of in Sacramento though, this will give the company an established banking presence. And just for some context, until now, SoFi hasn't really been a bank. They currently rely on a middleman, a third-party bank, to actually create their loans and deposits. So for example, SoFi currently offers a high-yield savings account, but SoFi themselves don't actually hold on to the money because SoFi is technically not a bank, yet, which means they don't have control over their interest rates. The CEO of SoFi, Anthony Noto, has even come out publicly and said that if it were up to him, he would be paying all of his clients the highest interest rates on the market right now, which albeit is not very high right now to begin with. But I think as everyone knows, these low interest rates won't last forever, and when interest rates start to spike again, it really means that SoFi will be able to show everyone just how competitive they can be with their high-yield savings accounts. So now that SoFi is going to be building out their physical presence and establishing themselves as a leader in the new age of fintech banking, this means they won't have to rely on third-party banks to set their interest rates, and that SoFi will have control over their own rates, which is going to be an extremely powerful competitive advantage for them. Because remember, SoFi was started in the first place when the CEO saw a gap in the current traditional banking system with all of the corruption taking place, which I would never call out any names of corrupt banks, as that would be somewhat childish. Bank of America. SoFi was created with the intentions of removing the corruption we've seen in our current banking system and building out something much better by learning from the mistakes of brick-and-mortar banking systems. So overall, is SoFi a buy right now? Yes. Even though they've been hovering around the $16, $17 mark for a while now, I'm looking at this company as a long-term buy and hold. If they go down more, I might even build out more of my position. And just to be transparent with you guys, I bought SoFi when their SPAC merger was first announced, and I have not sold a single share. This is a company that I think has the potential to 10x over the next few years if they're able to continue on their current trajectory. I see them as a potential leader in the fintech world. So yeah, that's it guys. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.